State Assembly elections will hold on Saturday. Majority of the governorship candidates have been campaigning, and even the presidential campaigns, you will see a lot of women. Women will wear shebi, they will wear to match. And you, at the end of it all, what policies would impact this set of women, or even bring us majority of the governorship candidates have been campaigning, and even we should construct our table and construct our table and sit on it, or we'll bring along our chairs. But the issue candidates have been campaigning and poorly if you compare Nigeria to other, even African countries like Rwanda and even South Africa. With this 10th Assembly, the coloration that I have seen, it's a very dismal one from the 9th Assembly, even from the 8th Assembly. So it's like we are just gradually declining. The posture of the president-elect, I hope that perhaps when he inaugurates his cabinet and all of that, perhaps we will see women will be a bit persuaded by what would happen in terms of getting women at the table and perhaps important positions within the cabinet. But it's International Women's Day, so for you that is a woman watching me, give yourselves a pat at the back, because we don't do much of that. For men take a lot of pride in this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. For women, we are like, we want to be so humble. Some people, we don't want to be seen as arrogant and all of that, but today is your day. So embrace yourselves and let's embrace gender equity. We will take a break, and when we return, we will be taking you through the business news. I will also be talking to my guest in a short while. Kalu Ajawo is a financial analyst who will be talking about a lot of topical economic issues. So many to talk about. There's not, I couldn't just even pick one today. So we will look at all those, financial news, the headlines, and perhaps give you some perspectives. But all that will be when we return from this break. To join us again. Hello and welcome to the program. Thank you all for joining us today.
What we're seeing today is a bridge that we will cross together, with the young people.
Let us do what we can to making sure that our ordinary households don't fall into hunger. They can't feed themselves.
If you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, then there's something wrong with you.
But there's a field for everyone to play. And we see a potential contribution of all partners, including local oil companies, in the short term and also in the long term.
But what we're discovering now is financial resilience matters.
This is where we keep you up to speed with everything in finance, business, markets, economy. After all, here's Moneyline with me, Nancy. So welcome again, and let's do it again today. Some deposit money banks' efforts to reissue old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes suffered a setback on Tuesday as motorists, fuel stations, retailers, traders, and other bank customers rejected the old currencies. The development commenced after some commercial banks began disbursing the controversial 500 and 1,000 naira notes across their branches in major Nigerian cities. The Supreme Court had ruled last Friday that old naira notes should be allowed to circulate alongside the new ones until December 31, 2023. According to the court, the federal government's naira redesign policy contravened the 1999 Constitution. The Central Bank of Nigeria had announced in a statement issued by a member of the Monetary Policy Committee, Dr. Kingsley Obiora, following the Monetary Policy Committee most recent meeting in Abuja, that the banking system remains sound, safe, and resilient. The statement revealed that industry non-performing loans have decreased due to write-offs, facility restructuring, global standing instruction, and prudent credit risk management by banks. Total banking assets grew by 14.36 trillion naira, or about 24.2%, from 59.24 trillion naira in December 2022. Reduced the cost of elections by recycling voting equipment. He mentioned this on the program on Tuesday. Take a listen.
For the past 3 elections before this, INEC spent a total of 444 billion naira. But for this election, it was 304 billion, or 305 if you round it up. But what we see is that Nigerians, the taxpayers' money or the resource revenue is going into paying for the lack of integrity and trust in our electoral process, just like you mentioned. So what we need first is we need to integrate. We have our NIN, we have our beavers, we have what other registration? The road safety license.
Passport.
We have our passport and our BVNs. Yeah. We need to harmonize so that at least as an individual, we know where your data is coming from, and it needs to be scrubbed daily.
Deposit money banks have extended the electronic money transfer levy to domiciliary accounts. The levy, which banks collect on behalf of the government, was previously limited to Naira accounts. However, banks have informed their customers that the fee will be applied to domiciliary accounts immediately. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National, due to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed's directive. As a result, dollar-pound account holder would now pay 15 Naira as the electronic money transfer levy at an exchange rate determined by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Adenika Aloba, who is the program director of DataFight, stated that adequate attention should be given to the next elections budget to promote accountability of INEC. Take a listen.
For me, the first red flag or the first challenge is that INEC planned for 100 million voters and 24 million voters showed up. And it does beg the question, who is planning, who is doing the data planning for them? Because we know that voter turnout since 1999 has continued to decline up until this election where we had 26% voter turnout. I think the first foundational issue is the elections register, the voters register.
Nigeria's digital economy space has recorded over $4.4 billion investment as a result of strategic collaborations and programs. The Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashifu Inuwa, disclosed this in Abuja at a stakeholders briefing organized by the Ministry of Women Affairs in commemoration of the 2023 International Women's Day with the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. All right, let's quickly move ahead. International Women's Day, celebrated annually on March 8th. It is an important occasion where achievements of women in social, economic, cultural, and political spheres are hailed, acknowledged, and appreciated the world over. Here are some wishes and messages to women out there. Take a listen.
History has it that in the early 1900s, women started holding marches and campaigning for change. One of the first protests was held in New York City when 15,000 women flooded the streets to advocate for raise in wages, good working conditions, and voting rights.